Well, sure enough, after 7 years, the drought hit. Now, they're okay because they'd stored up all the grain. But when that happened, Pharaoh was thinking, Joe, scoot over. I want you over here, sit next to me. I want you to be on by my right side. You have an amazing insight into the things of the heavenlies or whatever. You just sit right here. So he's gone from the pits all the way to sitting at the right hand of the Pharaoh. I mean, that's pretty good. Not bad at all. Back home, however, on the ranch or whatever, the guys hadn't heard about fat cows, skinny cows. All they know is they can't. Yeah, I don't have any food. It's not raining. What are we going to do? They read something in the paper in Egypt. So they're rolling in it. Let's go. So they decided to go over to Egypt to get a bite to eat. They get over there to Egypt, and who do you think they bump into? Little Joe, but it's not Little Joe anymore. He's Big Shot Joe, sitting right on the right. So they just went, oh my gosh. Started throwing dust in their hair, tearing their garments. I can't believe that. It must have been a sunstroke. I was in a bad mood. They came up with every example they could think of. Joseph says, shut up. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Through this wild series of events and circumstances, I'm now in a position to say the whole truth. So tell everybody to come on down. We're sitting fat. Now, I've just walked you through 50 chapters of Genesis. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole Old Testament, but I'm trying to get you somewhere. Turn the page. It starts off Exodus. And I'm not going to go all the way through Exodus, but it starts off, and then there arose a Pharaoh in Egypt that didn't know Joseph. It means 430 years have gone by. New guys, he doesn't know about the Joseph stories and all that kind of junk. All he knows is these Hebrew types are taking over the best neighborhoods, the best land, Goshen, all that kind of stuff, and they're thinking, this isn't working for me. And so he decides to enslave them. Now, this is where most Anglicans pick up the story, because that's where the old Charlton Heston movie started. And you had this kind of thing with the whips cracking, stomping in the mud, and with the whole thing where you end up with, yeah, right, let my people go, and the waters separate. Not you know what I'm saying. So they get to the other side. I don't mean to tell the whole story because I am short time, but, the frogs jumping all over the place and all kinds of plagues, and the Nile River turns red, and, and they throw the staff down, and it turns into a snake, and then they do the same thing, but Moses just snake and eats that snake. Anyway, it's a big deal. But anyway, Moses had been called out from the burning bush, told to go into Egypt, tell the guy, set my people free. He went in there and told them, big debate, At the end of the day, he let them go. And it's a long story because it got down to the point where he said, because he won't do what I'm asking him to do, God said to Moses, you tell him that if he doesn't do this next thing, the firstborn of everything, all your families, livestock, they're going to drop dead because I'm going to send the angel of death's going to be. But if you'll put blood on your door, because this is Hebrew people, put blood on your door, he'll pass you over, pass over. And so, sure enough, Moses told him, and I'm telling you, it's coming. God's really ticked now. This is not funny. We're not talking about frogs jumping and all that. We're talking about it's going to be bad. Hush. So, the long and short of it is, the angel came through there, and all these Hebrews were protected, and all these Egyptians are dying. And that's when the movie, you saw Yul Brynner come out with his dead kid and say, let him go. And so what they did, they made it to the other side, the waters opened up, got out there. They got out of there. Pharaoh decided to change his mind. Please tell me you've read this before. Anyway, they got all that. So the point was, it's just an amazing story of deliverance that really is foundational for the story of the people of God that all started with Abraham. Well, when you get through this, Exodus and all that kind of stuff, what you get down to is about 1200 BC.